She swore in
Oh,
the edit, in the comments. So this is like, I'm from Boston originally. Here's this Rhode Islander, and she's swearing, using a 4-letter word in her comments back to me, and it was just this moment. I just laughed, and it was like, I'm at home.
Thank God you laughed and she didn't, run screaming. Who is this woman?
But as clearly you knew, you knew that we were hitting it off at that point. You knew how to kind of speak into my listening, and that's your talent.
Well, I also think it's incredibly uncomfortable to have somebody read your work and comment on it. So I wanted to diffuse the situation. So throwing out a 4-letter word sometimes does that. It's kind of like, all right, let's level the playing field here. Let's get down to it.
Yeah, and it did, and it is just a tough process. And maybe you might know this, but how many people? Maybe statistically, and this is kind of yes, I'm looking for statistics.
Okay, let me figure this out.
So how many people actually say that they want to write a book?
Oh, every human being I interact with. Every person, no matter where I go, says they want to, or says they have an idea for a book, but it's in their head,
right.
And they've been writing it in their head.
Right.
That's what I hear the most, which is fine.
And how many people out of the people? So say pretty much everybody.
Everybody I
wants to write a book. How many people do you think actually do it?
Oh, I think the percentage is very low, and I think a lot of people try and give up very quickly. And I think the key is you need encouragement, you need support. And you need to have somebody in your corner. You need a coach, and that I didn't have that a lot of the time. And I looked for it and looked for it and looked for it. I had a few really wonderful writing teachers who just opened my eyes to certain things. But being a high school teacher, I saw my students suffering from a lot of bad teaching. Sorry, my colleagues out there that might be offended by this, but we don't always have the most patience in the classroom. Mm-hmm. So I tried to make my goal as a high school teacher to be the teacher that listens, and that's where all the training for what I do now really came from, is being a high school teacher. That is challenging.
Yes,
very challenging.
I commend you for that.
I commend all teachers out there who teach high school and middle school. It's a very challenging job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so keep teaching. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
Some of us leave. Just like for me, having been a therapist, I do commend all the therapists that are still, particularly the ones working in treatment centers, which is where I used to work, working on the front lines with people. So I commend you all for continuing with that.
Yes.
And, and I've shared with you, I'm not sure how much I shared with you about my new position at Morgan James.
No, and I only saw it on the bottom of the I was like, wait, what's that? But I figured we'd talk about it.
Yes, and there's a lot we're going to talk about. Hannah and I are plotting and take on the world together.
Hopefully.
Yes, we are.
I hope so.
But for me, I obviously being a therapist and then being a coach myself, saw a lot of need for the working with someone's internal process, not their writing skills, because that's not my talent yet, but their internal process around getting a book done. Because of exactly what we're talking about, all those people that say that they want to write a book and then don't. And, if I had gone based on my feelings about whether or not I could write a book, I wouldn't have written a book. And as I've shared with people.
Well, you told me that you weren't a writer, and I almost fell off my chair because she is a writer. She's a very good writer. And that completely shocked me that you thought of yourself as not a writer.
Well, and as I know we need to go to commercial in a minute, but I'll tell you how I don't like writing thank you notes. I've been very well brought up by my mother, who I know is listening. And
Hi, Mom.
Thank you, Mom. Handwritten thank you notes, very important thing to do. And but I never liked writing thank you notes because I didn't feel like I was creative enough. I just felt boring. And thank you very much for the present. I really enjoyed it. Love, Kristen. And so writing a thank you note was a test of my writing ability. So writing a book was not going to happen. So we'll talk about that when we come back from commercial. Well, we'll talk about who knows what when we come back from commercial.
Who knows?
Let's talk about your future. Do you know what's in it for you? More of the same? Or how about the life you dream of? Career advancement, financial security, a healthier lifestyle, spiritual enlightenment, effective communication, and fulfilling relationships. Sometimes we must have an extra boost. Sometimes we need a breakthrough. Announcing breakthrough courses for the life that you really want to live. What do you get when you mix dozens of experts, personal development tools, and a community of family and friends with your dreams and aspirations? Life-changing results without a lifetime of effort. Now you can work with all of your clients online, promote your business with a new and exciting professional expert directory, and meet new potential clients. Save time and make money with every client online. Come be a part of a great new community for self-improvement. Listen now for details from your radio show host.